Good morning, BHS. I'm Elle.
And I'm Hannah.
And these are your morning announcements. Here's the Pledge of Allegiance.
May everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Today marks the anniversary of 9/11. Here's a short video about it.
Now here are some facts about 9/11. On September 11th, 2001, known as 9/11, terrorists from the Islamic extremist group hijacked 4 commercial passenger airplanes and carried out suicide attacks against targets in the United States. 2 of the planes were flown into the World Trade Center in New York City, causing the buildings to collapse. We remember this day to honor those whose lives were taken by this tragic event.
What do y'all know about 9/11?
It was a really tragic event, obviously, but I feel like together as a whole, it brought the country together and made it stronger.
I know that 2 planes attacked the 2 towers, and there was a 3rd plane going for Washington, but they failed.
All right, thank you.
The Muslims took it over with a box cutter.
Okay, so a fact about 9/11 is the attack killed 2,977 people from 90 nations, which is...
The Patriot Act has played a key part of our security. Now more than ever, the Patriot Act has helped protect innocent Americans from the deadly plans of terrorists dedicated to destroying America and our way of life. Some of the information and footage is brought to you by History.com. If you would like to learn more information about 9/11, just search up history.com/news/9/11 for more information. Thank you.
What were you doing during 9/11?
I was on the Kent State campus as a freshman, and I was on my way to class when my friend came up to me and said classes were canceled. That's when I found out.
What were you doing during 9/11?
Well, 9/11 occurred the year before I became a teacher. I owned a contracting company, and I remember driving out in the Cleveland area and listening to it on the radio and talking back to my office as far as what was going on, and they were filling me in. And I remember about halfway through the day, I just decided to take the rest of the day off, and I went home and watched the coverage on television after that. Interesting.
What were you doing during 9/11?
I was in class at the University of Akron.
What were you doing during 9/11?
I was actually teaching. I was teaching at Highland Middle School here in town, and I had an older classroom in the basement that had like no TV or anything in it. Like I had to like bring it in on a cart and run cable and all. It was kind of crazy. I didn't know anything was going on. All the other teachers were upset, and I just kept teaching because no one came down and told me. So the story is there's a lot of people going, "Hey, you made us take a quiz during." And I'm like, I didn't know. So, but that's what happened.
What were you doing during 9/11?
I was taking a teaching class at Wayne College down in Orrville, Ohio, and we got noticed about the Twin Towers.
What were you doing during 9/11?
During the terrorist attacks of September 11th, I was in 8th grade Spanish class, and we found out about the attacks from some other teachers. Back then we had, the old tube TVs that were set up in the classrooms, and the teachers actually turned the TV on, and we kind of watched the news for a little bit. Once the administration decided that they were going to send us home, we went home on the bus like usual. My sister, who's 5 years younger than me, I had to get her off the bus, and so we were at home by ourselves. Mom and Dad were both at work, and the one thing I found really eerie was we were sitting in our living room, and every single channel had something to do with the terrorist attacks, anywhere from ESPN to HGTV. All the cable channels had the news on. And the other thing too that I thought was really kind of weird was I live about 5 minutes from the Akron-Canton airport, and the skies went completely quiet because all flights were grounded. So I thought that was really interesting too, because I'm so used to hearing airplanes fly over my house, and then it just got really, really quiet. So really sad day in American history, but something that we should absolutely learn from and continue teaching each year. Thank you.
On Friday, September 27th, seniors are invited for donuts by the stadium at 7 a.m. for a senior sunrise. Please fill out the form in Google Classroom to let us know you're coming.
The BHS Student Council presents Homecoming 2024 Hoko Hoedown. The dance will be held on Saturday, September 28th from 8 to 10 in the BHS Commons. Tickets are $20 each and will be sold during magic time in room 121. Guest forms are now available and are due to Miss Cardinal by Thursday, September 26th at 3 p.m. Hope to see everyone there.
The first knitting club is Thursday, September 19th from 2:30 to 3:30. See Mrs. Didado for more information. Here's a short video about Science Club.
The first Science Club meeting of the year will be on Wednesday, September 18th in room 114. We will be selecting our class pet, planning our first field trip, and doing a fun science experiment. Science Club also throws really fun and cool parties. Again, don't forget to come join us Wednesday, September 18th, right after school in room 114. Thank you.
Want to come to Costa Rica and Panama in the summer of 2025? Miss Boyd and Miss Moore are holding a Google Meet informational meeting on September 17th. Please see Miss Boyd in room 228 for more information.
Students vote for Buckeye, Children's, and Teen Book Awards. Here are the nominees and QR code to vote. Voting goes through November 10th. Here is a short video about the New York trip coming up for the Media and Music Department at BHS.
All right, this is for anybody who's interested in going to New York City. The choir and music department, plus Mr. Grimsley, that's me, media department, is going to New York City. So if you're interested, the trip is in March. It's during spring break. There is a parent meeting, which would be mandatory, and that meeting is on Thursday of this week, and it's at 5 p.m. in the choir room. So if you're interested in going to New York City, just go to that meeting, and I hope to see you there. It's a great trip. It's a lot of fun, and it's something that you will remember for your rest of your life. Thank you.
Are you interested in learning about the basics of plant care, working in the outdoor flower beds, beginning your indoor collection, and honing your horticultural skills? Garden Club will be meeting every second and fourth Wednesday of the month. Our first Garden Club meeting will be on Wednesday, September 11th, that's right now, or today, in room 113. There's more information posted in your grade level Google Classroom.
Now sports.
Tennis update. Magic's win last night, 5-0 versus Garfield. Sully Green, 6-4, 6-0. Claire Eberhardt, 6-1, 7-5. Stella Studemeyer, 6-2, 6-4. Sophie Samples and Taya Graham, 6-0, 6-1. Kyle Blake and Isla Steidel, 6-0 and 6-0. We play Aurora today.
Cross country update. Our girls team placed third out of 6 teams, with all 5 girls earning a medal for placing top 25. Hannah Swanson in 5th, Vivian Velo 7th, Lily Tyler 9th, Holly Atkins 12th, and Heidi Kurtz 20th. On the boys' side, Adam Morris took home the medal, placing 20th. Also scoring for the boys were Aiden Renella, Blake Kurtz, Gordon Smith, and Christian White. PRs were earned by Heidi Kurtz, Christian White, George Blaken Jr., and Isaac Swanson. That's it for us. Have a great day, BHS. Now Mirren and Everhart.
Okay, so today's sporting events: varsity golf, home against Firestone. We have tennis away at Aurora, and we have girls soccer at Highland. I give you an update. The boys soccer lost last night 2-0. They played a really good game. They were in it. They played really well again. Yeah, they're coming along. Girls volleyball lost last night, I believe, in straight sets. Yeah. And although they lost in straight sets, they were competitive in each one of those games.
Yes, they were.
JV soccer lost, I think, 5-0. Today's lunch: homemade mac and cheese. I wonder if it's really homemade.
No, it's
okay.
Probably correct.
My homemade mac and cheese is like okay. Then you have crispy chicken wrap. If you want to volunteer for the Mum Fest, please. We need volunteers. There's information is in your Google Classroom. I'm not going to say any more about the homecoming things. I will send something out through Parent Square soon. Now, the reason I have Officer Eberhard on here, real serious, I'm going to talk about two things. The first one I'm going to talk about is the parking lot. I got a lot of kids out there goofing around, shaking cars, being stupid in the parking lot. And I'm sorry to use that word, but that's what you're doing. Those cars can hurt you, okay? Especially, I get it, you're waiting around for a practice to start or something to start, knock it off. And the thing is when you're out back, I have parents, I have grandparents, I have people with younger siblings in those cars. You need to slow down, you need to be careful, you don't want to goof around. Quickly cross the alleyway so people can drive through. The next thing I'm going to say about that is, folks, I want you to, as I always like to talk about, let's sprinkle some common sense on here, okay? The average person that's driving, that has a car in this parking lot, has only been driving maybe 2 years, maybe 2.5, okay? Because that's the majority of you are students. You don't have a lot of experience driving. And I'm not saying you're bad drivers, but sometimes the light, someone runs out, something happens. You're not as experienced as some of us others. That's why I will never, as a high school principal, never have a really nice car in a parking lot like this. I'm just not going to do it. What you don't know is probably about half dozen times a year we have accidents in our parking lot.
Yeah,
accidentally not turning sharp enough or turning too sharp or backing out and you scrape a car. That could be a person that you accidentally hit instead of a car. So I'm asking, and I get it, you're teenagers, you want to have fun, not in a parking lot, not when there's other kids and cars moving around. The consequences are too extreme. And then there's legal aspects of it.
Oh yeah, I mean your operation, how you're operating the vehicle, and a lot. I mean, accidents happen and we understand that, but if you're being negligent because you're driving fast or doing a burnout or something like that, and you would hit another student, you're going to be charged criminally because that's the law. On top of that, you're going to get traffic citations, you're going to lose your license for a year. There's a lot of ramifications to how, if you're driving as bad and you're negligent in that, there's a lot of legal ramifications for you, and you don't want to lose your license for a year after you just got it. So just watch your speed in the lots.
Okay, the next one is very serious. From the events of last week, I know there are some kids that are concerned, and this message is not only for students but for staff as well. Let's just say hypothetically you see someone walking through the building that you don't recognize and they don't have one of those visitor passes on it. You uncomfortable? Tell a staff member. Staff members, you have every right to say, I'm so-and-so. Well, can I ask who you are and why you're here in this building? Friday we will have some people in the building. Hopefully they will all have the visitor pass because we have the Academic Hall of Fame. But there are going to be other times that we don't have those visitors in the building and they don't have an ID or badge on. You have every right. Moving forward with that, see something, say something. Obviously, because of the shooting last week, there are also a lot of people that are making false threats. I can tell you on my side, we will find you. Officer Eberhardt's going to explain how that kind of happens and the criminal charges and school discipline that's going to follow through with it.
It doesn't happen here a lot, but in the past, in my 7 years here, we have had at times where somebody has made a threat joking around. And as I told you guys in the grade level meetings, whatever you put on social media, we can find. You can't hide it. You can't cover up who it is. You can't use a fake screen name because everything has an IP address. And if we can't do it for some reason, then the FBI is going to get involved. And when the FBI gets involved, then it's even more serious. But even if it's a joke, it causes parents to get upset because they're worried about their kids being here. You have kids that get upset, and there's serious ramifications for making a threat towards a school, where it's now a felony 3 in the state of Ohio, which at times could be mandatory jail time. Simply for making a threat, whether you were serious or not. We're not going to say, well, you know what, you were kidding, you shouldn't have posted that. We know you're not going to do that. We're not going to make any distinctions. It's going to be, if you make a threat to this school, whether it was a joke or not, you're going to be dealt with the same way, and there's consequences for it. And we're good about that here. You guys are good kids, but every once in a while somebody tries to do something, and we're going to find you. So just don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth you getting in trouble. You're not going to get a day off school like some people think. So just don't do it, because you can get yourself in a lot of trouble. And it's people worry. Your parents worry every day about you in general. They don't need the extra worries of, worried about something happening at the school when it ended up being a joke. So just don't do it.
Twice last year, we had the FBI actually contact Barberton Police Department, and then contacted me to find out these
11
kids.
o'clock at night, I got
11
called.
o'clock, yeah. So it does happen. They will actually, so I think FBI is watching more than what we realize.
They're always watching you.
So,
the government is watching your social media. Everybody.
Big Brother's watching.
Yep.
Okay. For those of you, there's a book, 1984, maybe, I don't know. Okay. With that, we'll see you in the halls.
Later.